afternoon, good morning, depending you're at YouTube. This is your man, all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, February is about to close out, and this is my very last interview for the month. I love doing these interviews. I love getting to talk to these ladies in the sport of bodybuilding and get their stories, because the fact is, they need this. They need the support and attention they deserve. As you know, there's been a lot of talk going around in the bodybuilding world. It's just things are going crazy. This weekend is one of the biggest shows coming up. The pros and amateur level season is about to start, and it is the big show coming up this weekend is the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, which I don't talk about anymore because the fact is Arnold quietly walked behind the women's bodybuilding division and stabbed in the heart. And he's done it 3 times already with women's bodybuilding, physique, and now figure. But we'll talk about that a little longer. We have discussions with a lady. This is a little lady. She's from my next door neighbor in South Carolina. It's good to have another fellow Southern out here. Last week, I got to talk with a lady she also know, Miss Bree Marshall, and she's also from South Carolina. It's great it's me personally being from North Carolina, meeting and getting to talk to women who are like close to home for me, and it's just it's just really. It's just joyful. So, Mrs. Hart, tell us and share with us how you get into sport of muscle and masculinity.
How did I get here? Well, it's kind of a long journey from start to finish. If you look at it that way, my husband and I will be married 10 years in June, and he actually is the one that got me into bodybuilding and introduced me into the community. While we were dating, he actually competed in his first and only show. And from that point, I met some of the people within the industry and whatnot here locally. And back then I actually wanted to compete, but it was, we had both been through divorce, and then we got married, trying to blend a family with, at the time, 3 kids, and both worked full time. It was just mentally, I was not in the place that I needed to be in order, to be able to master everything that comes with, competing. So fast forward, we now have 4 kids total. Our youngest will be 6 in May. And back in 2020, with everything that happened with 2020, I hit a really low mentally. Like, everything on the outside looked fine within me. Like, there was nothing going on, marriage wise or family wise or whatever else. I just wasn't happy with myself. I got to where I was drinking too much and eating too much. I packed on the pounds. The gyms and everything shut down, and I just wasn't. I got to the point to where I'm like, if I don't pick myself up, I'm not going to be able to stand back up eventually. Mm-hmm. So, I just decided to flip the switch when the gyms and stuff opened back up. And at the time I've been doing Orange Theory, which that's really where that competitive instinct kicked back in again. Through all of that, I just didn't know what to do, after that, or, what I wanted to do. So the gyms opened back up. I continued doing Orange Theory. And then I decided at the end of 2020, I'm ready to get my shit together, and I'm ready to get this whole eating thing under control, all of it under control. So I decided, I started out with the 80-20 rule to lose a good chunk of weight and to really figure out like what my body needs and what I enjoy eating, what's practical for me to eat, with having a family, to where I'm not starving myself just trying to lose 5 pounds. I actually wanted to, look as strong as what I knew physically I was. I've always been able to push a lot of weight in the weight room. I started lifting when I was really young. I played softball through high school and college. So I've always been a stronger female, if you would. So then I knew my current coach back from when, Chad and I met him originally 10, 11 years ago. And I went and talked to him, and, I asked him, I'm like, can you really help me like really dial in my diet? Because I've gotten this far, but I feel like, I need some extra help. What would you suggest? Am I doing my workouts the right way, et cetera, et cetera. And so then like I worked out underneath his guidance for several months, and then decided, at one point I was like, you know what? I want to compete. I want to see if I can compete. So my coach and I talked about it, and I'm like, what do you think? Do you think I can get there? And at the end of 2021, it was like, let's see where you end up. Let's get through the holidays and see if you can handle it through the holidays. And, we'll see where we land in January 2022. So January 2022 rolls around, and he tells me, he's like, you can do it. I think you can compete. Like, we're there mentally, we're there physically. Let's do it. So then it was figuring out, which category is going to be the best suited for my body type, working on posing. I had never posed. Oh my gosh. That for me has been the hardest thing to master. And I still haven't mastered it. I still practice daily. Even in the off season, I train with Monique Jones, who just, oh my gosh.
Wow, that's a legend, Monique. I mean, I've been a big fan of a long time ago, and I know she lives in South Carolina because I follow on
Yes.
social media. And she's originally I think she's from Missouri originally, and she moved to South Carolina with her and her daughter because that's also yourself. She's a mother with a child. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I respect about you ladies who are in the sport. It's like I think the last few years it's been a growing number of women who are coming to sport later in life. And, and this is what keeping bodybuilding alive is not just the new generation, it's the other generation that's coming in and finding sport either because, like, understand you talk about how you were dealing with being overweight. And that's something I've been dealing with for a long time. A few years ago, like my mother, she passed away in 2022 because she got the virus. And I was taking care of her for about 5 or 6 years. And I knew instead about overeating and just like that, that really can get to you. But then I decided, you know what, I don't have her to take care of anymore. I got to take care of myself. And then I was almost 500 pounds. And I dropped down to at one point. I dropped down to a little bit under a little under 400. But I did bounce back a little bit. The holidays and like that happened. But yeah, it's just the stuff you've been going through. It can be, when you especially your part in your mind says, you know what, I want to do better. I need to do better. And especially you have family responsibilities. And your husband Chad, he's a good dude standing beside you. And he had his dream and he stepped back when he let you have your dream. We get my man, this is our man Balls Deep coming through. Good morning, gorgeous. He likes don't mind the name, he's a cool dude. Chicago in here as usual. Also he says salute to George, salute to you, Balls Deep. Smash that like button. And also he also says, peace and blessings, beautiful. And we got a man here, Execution 23 coming through. Good afternoon, George Page. Thank you, my brother, and shout out to you. And respect to you, like I said. And Ballsy has a question to ask you. I usually don't let him ask this question. He says, flex for me, baby. No, she may not be in the mood to flex and Ballsy. He has other things he want to ask you, but I'm gonna edit him a bit.
Yeah, get into the camera. Where we at?
Yeah. You get a little flex, Balls Deep. Okay, so I hope that tickles your pickle, Balls Deep. You got some guys out there, and that's the thing is about this. And as you were saying, you were like going through this issue with 2020. As you know, that was just a bad year for everybody. I mean, I can tell you it's again. And you decided to. When was the day when you decided, you know what, I am serious about this? Where you was going to, start competing?
I can't remember the exact date, but it was. I mean, it was. It was right November, December.
It's just like toward the end of 2020 or 2021. You just saying, I'm going to commit to this.
Yeah, and I mean, when I tell you, I felt like crap. Like I felt like I wasn't being a good employee. I wasn't being a good mother. I wasn't being a good wife. I felt like shit. Mm-hmm. And I was just ready to change that. And I knew that I was the only person that could pick myself back up and do it. So that's what I decided to do. And I do believe that you can flip that switch immediately. Now, granted, the results don't happen immediately, but as far as mentally flipping the switch to change yourself and to change your life, absolutely you can. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite quotes is from, as you know, I'm gonna do a lot of quotes because I'm a big movie buff, and one of my favorite book quotes is from the Batman Chris Nolan trilogy. I love Christian Bale's Batman; he's great. And because also another guy I love from that movie is this guy here. He'll come in and out. It's this guy here, and Jimmy, you are beautiful. Why so serious? Daughter, he's gonna come out every now and then. I try to keep him back in the hole, but he can come out now and then. And this is as a quote about to say. Why do we fall? So we learn to pick ourselves up. And it's only like I tell people like this: if you want to do something, you have to get out of your own way. No matter what anybody else tells you to do, it's up to you. Like with me, when I started doing this stuff, I went to my first show. I was still kind of tentative, but I got to meet people and talk to these people I even interviewed with. It's a time to really, and I'm still kind of the shy guy here, but it's a lot to understand where you're going, what your path is, and just he's telling me, oh, we got something for Balls Deep here for a second. He said, yes, Lord, and he says your husband is a lucky man. And he is a lucky man because like folks, we're gonna show some pictures here from social media real quick, if you don't mind. And this is her with her kids. And that's cute, and your which one is yours? The one is before you got with your husband.
The oldest one. So the one in the black vest, that's Landon.
And this is you and Chad,
and
that's the baby, and that's the daughter that Chad daughter said he brought in. So you have like your daughter, your stepdaughter, how she feels about you, your kids in general. How do you feel about you being a bodybuilder?
So I think that to me, you have to excuse me. Sometimes I get a little emotional talking about it.
That's all right. That's the thing. That's your prerogative as a woman.
So that to me, having my kids watch me go through this has been the most rewarding part. I never wanted to be one of those parents that do as I say, but not as I do. We teach our kids, and so many parents raise their kids to say, you can grow up and you can be anything that you want to be. You can do anything that you want to do. But we as parents sell ourselves short because we think that just because we have children, our life stops. We have to put any and everything into our kids, which is not wrong. But that also doesn't mean that it's okay to lose yourself as a person and as an individual outside of being a parent. But it's, go ahead.
Yeah, I see your man here got his license.
He did. Well, he got his permit. So.
His permit. So yeah, he's not ready to drive. So he has to drive. Anytime you drive, you have to be with him.
Yes.
I remember when I was younger, my brother tried to teach me how to drive. He used pain as a motivation. But as you were saying, we'll get back to this right here later. As you were saying, as you're talking about, about you and how your kids and your family supports you, and and that is a great. Oh, we just got a guest here. I think, here we go, Mr. Landon Smith. That's my mom. That's your mom. Yeah. Thank you, Landon, for coming through, son. Thank you, son. That's your mom, and
he's supposed to be in school, I guess.
He's probably at his phone. It's always lunchtime. It's about lunchtime, probably. He's on his phone. He saw the interview. He said, "I'm gonna watch my mom. Hey, it's my mom. He's getting interviewed, and he's so proud." As you know, there's another quote from one of the movies, Psychos. Norman Bates says, "A boy's best friend is his mother," and I can tell you that we love our moms. A mom is the first woman that we ever love. You like I said with me, and I lost my mom. I said again, but like I said, it can never be somebody replace your mom. You always have a wife. You always have a girlfriend. But you can never replace your mother. And that's the woman that really. My mother, like I said, she was a single mom. like yourself in the beginning. She had to raise not just me, plus my three sisters and my two brothers. Also, she raised grandkids too. She was a great lady, and that's why I love doing content about women. Because the fact is, I respect them. One of my jobs I used to work at was I used to work a couple of jobs with a lot of women. I used to work at a textile plant. I used to work with women almost every day. I used to work at a strip club, and he was right outside, south the border, the strip club.
You just told me everything that I need to.
Yeah. It's not open anymore. It's closed now. I mean, it's been closed for about a good couple of years. But yeah, I mean, working around women, I get to learn something about women because as men, we really need your patience because you know what, you women lean on us for our strength, but we lean on y'all for your love. We got another gentleman here, Mr. Chad Hart. Get in class, boy. Yeah, boy. Let's get class. Thank you. That's what Dave was to do. Ask the beautiful lady what is her most dominant feature. Oh, he wants to ask you, what is your most dominant feature? Not just wise, but personality wise too. What we see is dominant about yourself?
Physique wise, I would say my legs, most definitely. And I used to be most embarrassed by them because I've always had thicker thighs, if you would. Back when I was younger, if your legs weren't like this and you didn't have a thigh gap like that, then you weren't pretty. But I remember, the old pictures we used to get, you couldn't see them until after, they were developed. But I remember throwing some of them in the trash can because I thought that my legs were too big.
You get some thick wheels there, and that's the thing. Yeah. Is like I said, especially in the South, thickness is common knowledge because Southern women, being like I said again, being a black man going around here in the South, our women a little bit more thick and healthy. Up north, out west, a little slim, a little tinier because you have to be, especially if you're working on a farm or your country fed, and especially out west and Midwest in the South. But yeah, you get some impressive wheels on you, and from looking for that's a good thing. That's the thing. I think that because one thing, it's the competitors who compete in women's bodybuilding don't have no legs, your body has come a long way. This is a show that you competed at. Was it this year or last year you competed?
No, so 2022 is the first time that I competed. When I decided to compete, I went all in. I was just initially going to do one show and then decided to do 3 back to back. Which, that did qualify me. So now this year, ending 2023, I'm going to go after that pro card.
Oh, good luck to you. We wish you all the best of luck. Like I said, there's quite a few shows that's like this USA's. There's USA's in Marion. They have that. I don't know if they have women's bodybuilding or not. You can try to think if you want. There's the, also, if you want to go to Chicago, there's the Miss International, which is also a pro qualifier. And there's nationals, and also, they have announced that they're moving. They moved the Olympia back to Orlando, so that's a lot closer than going all the way to Las Vegas. Last year, Vegas was like some competitors. I did an interview with one lady, Danielle Willis. She just competed at the Olympia at bodybuilding, and she got sick. She was nice enough to come and do the interview, even though she was like a couple weeks after the show. And it was tough, Vegas. They said, a lot of people got sick. We got here, my man, Falls Deep. Thick thighs saves lives. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And he says, them legs built like a stallion. And also we got my man here, KL the Wanderer. She's very pretty, and I love her pictures. Yeah, she is very attractive. And like I said, now we talk about what other than your other physical dominance about you, as Chad wants to ask, what is your dominant personality about you? What you call yourself that comes out about you when you.
I don't bullshit. If I'm the type of person, if you ask my opinion, I'll give you my opinion. If you don't really want it, don't ask. I'm down to earth. What you see is what you get. There's not fluff and filters and whatnot. I mean, this is who I am. You know, and I know that there's a lot of people, especially nowadays, that are not that way. So I am proud to be that way. So yeah, I think that that's one of my most dominant like personality features.
I mean, one of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes from my favorite comedians is Bernie Mac said, "Boy, you gotta be yourself. If you don't, if you nobody like you to be yourself, fuck them,
Yep.
fuck them."
Absolutely.
That is, my man, R.P. Bernie Mac, great comedian, great guy. We got
Yeah.
here CS Racing Report. What shows are you targeting this spring, summer, or fall? And what weight class or classes will you compete in the fall? So, like I said, you said you're thinking about doing some shows this year, and you said you think about going towards the end of 2023. What shows you want? You think about, like I said, you want to think about nationals, or maybe because I think nationals that's going to be. I think it moved nationals to Texas
Yes, they did.
this year because it wasn't for the last couple of years. And like I said, there's I don't know if Junior USA's that's in. I think it's closer to the summer, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's in. I think that they had it Manning the last couple of times. And say it also um there's the North Americans,
Mhm.
and also there's the Miss International. That's a couple of possibilities for you. We got here my man KL. She's thick as a milkshake. Good luck getting your pro card too. Yeah. And also, he said, I meant to say, what weight classes or classes will you compete in? So, what is you are more like a middleweight, heavyweight type, or which one you think you fit in?
I am. So in the last show, the North Carolina, South Carolina state show, you know, peak week and whatnot, the day of the show, I was between 148, 149. So, you know, I am bulking, working to put on some more muscle. So yeah, I'll fall in ideally in the middleweight class is where we would like to come in. That way too, you know, it gives me, once I do get my pro card, it gives me room to grow and all that good stuff. So yeah, so that's the weight group that we're planning on coming in at.
My man Ballsy says, straight and to the point, and I like that about her. Also, he has a question about you. He asked, "What's your favorite pet?" He's wondering. I know we all. This is the thing about the sport, and that everybody saying that bodybuilding is about using drugs. Like, but it's not about that. It's about being consistent, and it's about following diet. Like this, like you got to go to the gym every day. And also, he's talking about you have kids to feed, and then
Yeah.
there's times where your kids eat macaroni and cheese and chicken nuggets, especially a little baby. You can't eat that. You have to eat whatever your coach puts you out. Now, what's the name of your coach again?
Trey Hodge.
Trey Hodge. That's the
Yeah.
guy. He's a legend. I mean, he works with Monique. He works with Sheena Oleg. He works with quite several ladies. I think he's very popular. I think
Yeah.
he's a better alternative one than another coach and trainer that people talk about. I ain't gonna mention him too much because I gotta be careful about my content. But yeah, I think he does pretty good work with ladies. I think the thing is like this: women are different from men,
Mhm.
and you can't give the same plan to a woman that you do for a man because women you have a higher body about BMI than men. You have to factor in, especially menstruation. You factor in also other things. Even though as we are we're both humans, but we're different species. We come down to men and women. Body chemistry thing, everything out. Men we don't menstruate. We don't have babies.
Mhm.
We act like babies sometimes, but that's different. But you have to what works for a woman may not work for a man. What works for a man may not work. I think you have to size every person with what works best with them. And I think like I said, you are like I said, you're a very good sized woman. I think that's a good move for you. Also, here we have CS Racing Report. What show or shows? Oh, I read that one. I thought he say that again. Yeah, I think he said that again. Why is he repeating?
So I am like to answer that, I am planning on competing November, December timeline. So it will definitely be late in the year before I compete. So
Yeah, my man Balls he says she coming to Chicago to compete? Nah, she's not coming to Chicago, Balls Deep. Nah, she's not coming there. I know you want to see you. And I think, folks, instead again, I got her information, social media information in the description. You want to check her out, follow her on IG and also other social platforms. But guys, I have a rule. And and I tell these guys out there, and I know it does no good telling you this. No D pics,
No, please don't. Like,
Stop
no,
it. She has a
no.
husband. She got kids. Last thing you say, who just said to you my wife? You be like,
And don't
hello?
ask me if I want to see a picture of it.
No.
Don't
This
ask
is
me.
no
No.
one. No, guys, don't do that. Don't do that because it's not. I know guys. You see women like Jamie. They're up on the stage. They're all tanned up. The oil. You get a tickle to the pickle. But stop it. Stop it. Think about this. Women don't like. Even women who are not bodybuilders don't like that shit. No, don't send that. Stop it. Be genuine. Be general. Just say hello, Mr. Hart. I think you're a great competitor. I like you. And we talk about this. How you do have the guys on one end who love you ladies, who are a fan of you, and you have people on the other end who go like, "Oh wow, she's trying to be a man." This is not a man, folks. This is a very beautiful woman. This is an attractive woman. What man do you see? I mean, only person we're talking about is fat guys like me calling you man. Cause sometimes I got more titties than look. I think this about me say, Jordan, I wish I had your titties. But it's about the fact that you are an athlete. You're a competitor and you have a passion for a sport. And people should expect no one tells guys who's in the bodybuilding world, say you're trying to be a woman, but they're not trying to be a woman. You are an athlete. And this sport is a tough sport on you ladies. Mentally, physically. And it's just funny how some people talk about like how Ballsy talks about how he likes you like that. And you have guys like come and say, well, she's trying to be a man, she's trying to be a man. But then turn around and like 10 minutes later, see the thing and they say, I think you're pretty, Jamie. I'd like to talk to you. And then you're like, it's like those, like a guy, you date a girl, you don't want somebody to know that you're dating her, so you can't keep her on the low. And that's just crazy about what's going on here.
Well, and I think too, people are more so apt to do that on social media because as so far, knock on wood, I've never had anybody in person say anything to me other than like positive stuff, because I go to 3 different gyms here where I go. And, each person in the gym, that works out at the same time and whatever else, they've seen my body change. They've seen me go through this, and it has been nothing but a positive experience. The only I've gotten a couple of negative comments on social media, but thank God there's a delete option now. Just delete it. Like I don't want to see any of that. Like it doesn't do anybody any good. No. And this is the sport that I choose. I love being a strong female. I hid from it for years and was ashamed of being a strong female for years because it wasn't socially acceptable. And now I guess that's what happens whenever you hit 40, you just don't give a shit. Like I'm going to do what I want to do. And yeah. And I want to show, younger women, like my stepdaughter and her friends and my oldest son, they're the same age. So they're both 15. They're in high school together. I want to show those girls and even, the boys, like it's cool to lift weights. Like it's a good thing to be strong, because we don't push that in society anymore. It's okay to be weak. It's, I don't know. I want to raise strong humans.
Yeah, you should because people sit and look at because okay, she lifts weights, and it's just a double standard about about what things want to be. Like you said, like they posted how they said that in bodybuilding they want more femininity, that they want the women to come a little bit like I just did a video about a young lady she's 26, 27. Just got herself breast implants. She competed her first Olympics. She's from Brazil. Just went and got breast implants. And I know that's your choice. I know because the fact is that as men we see breast as a very sexual, feminine thing, but also it's a thing that which nurses our children. You can see a billboard of a chick, modeling with her boobs out, but then you see a woman breastfeeding her child. Everybody say, put them back. But hey, you got to remember, unless you were, assimilated like and with a like some kind of creature, you came from your mama. You got to suck on your mama's titty. And that's nourishment. You can get a bottle for a long time. But I think that should be the qualification. You shouldn't just. I think this is how I say it like this: the femininity part should be only like a fraction how you judge you ladies. I think she judges like any other athletes by your conditioning, your development, your symmetry. We should see that more. But it's just the judging just keeps changing and changing. Like if you look at divisions now, how I talk about this on my channel, how some of the divisions are starting to meld. Like bodybuilding was the only back in when I've been a bodybuilding fan since I was in my early teens. My brother used to play football right here in Robinson County. He used to collect the muscle mags, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, Lou Ferrigno, those guys, a big fan. But then, and in the 80s, remember He-Man was popular, and then those, comic book heroes, and then the women, it was something just different, something for me, especially, getting into my teenage years, and people like Corey Everson, people like Linda Murray, and people like Iris Cow. I got to meet Alita Popa when I went to Savannah. I saw Linda, but she smiled at me, but I needed to talk to her. And, meeting some of those ladies, it's great excitement for me. But really, you got to be seen as an athlete. And just said again about those visions. As you know, this weekend is going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And I'm not talking about the main show. We'll talk about a little bit about the amateur show, where this year they have women's bodybuilding. And, Arnold said again, has walked quite behind the Hart of women's bodybuilding, stabbing the Hart quite a few times. We pushed out women's bodybuilding, just push out physique, push out figure. And he's keeping divisions where we call the TNA division, that is wellness and bikini. And that's what they say is about money. But the fact is, I don't say it's about the money part, but I think it should be about fair play for all competitors to be able to be representative on a special major show. But you have the Olympia, but still, other shows are still trying to push out the women's bodybuilding.
Well, and on that note, so for competitors like myself, I wasn't quite sure what category I would fit in, but I know that it's not bikini or wellness. Naturally, I don't fit in those categories. So, for me, both Trey and Mo were both like, no, you're bodybuilding. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm not that big. And they're like, wait until we peel back and you see, how much muscle you have up underneath. And they were right. I trusted them 100%, even though sometimes I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm glad that I trusted them, because now with the posing and doing the routines and being on stage 3 times now, it's that women's bodybuilding is absolutely where I belong. Yeah. And if they don't have that category, I don't have a place to compete in.
Yeah. Well, this physique, but like I said, you were very much larger. I think it's like,
I'm tall.
Yeah.
So that, I'm taller than a lot of the physique girls. I'm between 5'7", 5'8". So I'm not, it's, and that's the category that I thought that I would fit in, but it's not. So yeah, it's.
Yeah, my man balls these questions. What's heavyweight for female bodybuilder? What's the heavyweight criteria for women's bodybuilding? I know it's like, between 150, 160 some shows, or depending, especially as the amateurs, after a while you don't have weight classes when you hit the pros, but you do come in a certain weight. Yeah. So what is it for?
I think it's right around 160, or it might be 160 and over, because the middleweight class is in the 150s. Over that, I think it's once you hit 160. I should probably know the answer to that, but
yeah, I know they have. It used to be 3, but it's 4. I think for women, because you have lightweight, you have middleweight, you have lightweight, heavy, and you have heavyweight. So you might fit between.
I'm really kind of in between the middleweight and the light heavyweight.
Yeah,
is where I fall.
Yeah,
so it'll really depend on my conditioning. Where I come in at.
Okay, we have here my man CS Racing Report. I used to be Nationals, Jan Tanner, then the Olympia, and I think the Missing Natural was in between those two, but things have changed since the pre-COVID. Well, with Jan Tanner, that contest was used to be in North Carolina, my state here, and also Virginia. They dropped that years ago because they're saying not get enough money and not get enough people about it, because it was one of the first all women's shows before the Rising Phoenix and Arizona Pro. The Jan Tanner was the first all women's show. No banana hammocks in that show. It was all you ladies, and you didn't have to, because it's hard. Like, one thing we don't know about bodybuilding, this is from the old Pip analogy. The men are the bottom bitches. They're the ones that bring in the money. You ladies, we talk about this, how you ladies, it costs more to compete compared to men. Even though, okay, men might eat more and pay more, but the fact is, you have to pay for your suit, your hair, your makeup, your jewelry, the cost of traveling and all that. Put that in there, that other stuff too. And just it can be difficult and a financial drain. We got here one story here from you. I dialed up Corey Everson or Legends of the Like for tips. Unfortunately, Jackie Priestley Chris Clark and Michelle are not around anymore. Yeah, they passed away, but there's a few that could be a great help. Yeah, so but you're dealing with you got to me like Monique Jones and working with her, and that's a legend, and and respect to her, and also Trey Hodge, and like I said, we said earlier, how the cost of being a competitor, and you say you have a family. I know Chad, he probably helps out a bit, but this is like I said, this is on you, and it's just it's expensive. And as I said, this bodybuilding is more. It's not. I should see it more like any other sport, because it's more of a hobby sport. You don't see it much on television anymore. I used to remember as a kid, you used to watch it on ESPN, NBC. And now you go on turn on those networks, you watch cornhole and people playing poker. But like I say, it's just the fact is that people are not. It's not as generally popular among the masses.
Right. And it's a shame that it's not, because it's such a beautiful sport. Everybody so far that I've met has been fantastic. I've made a lot of friends. And I like to talk to the other competitors too, to see what their story is. It's a shame that we all don't have a voice, because everybody, and it doesn't matter what category you compete in either, everybody that I've met has had some type of past that has brought them to where they're at now. And everybody's story is unique. And I mean, they're all amazing. And it's a shame that there's not more broadcast on it, because I mean, the sport's a grueling sport. I love the workout part. Like the part that I'm doing now is my favorite part. I love the grind. I love the process. I love pushing my body to the absolute extreme. I love being able to say, hell yeah, I picked that weight up. Look at what I just lifted. Yes. Like I love it. And I try to tell other women, when they're like, how do you press what you press? How do you do this? Well, you're a mom. You pick up your kid weighs 40 to 50 pounds. You don't think twice about it. But I go tell you to go pick up that 40-pound dumbbell and you're like, oh God, I'm going to pull my back out. No, you picked up your kid that weighs the same amount. You just, it's the mental part of it that's so skewed with society, and yeah, I'm okay with breaking that mold.
Yeah. We got a man here, balls deep, saying they said positive stuff because they're scared you would whoop their ass. And we got somebody to confirm this. This is from Chad. They're exactly right, balls deep. Nobody going to talk crap to her in her face. Nah, that's your man telling you that. Also, we got CS Racing Report. Oh, I forgot to ask type of shows, figure or bodybuilder. Like I said, she's a bodybuilder. Yeah, she's a bodybuilder because she, like I said, with figure, I think it's more for taller women. You break down the divisions like this. I think with bikini it's taller girls, and also with figure. I think with wellness and physique, little girls for shorter, and bodybuilding is women from could be taller, but I think it's a lot harder for your taller women because you're a lot longer. It takes a lot more time for you to build muscle because your extremities and your appendages are a lot longer than anybody else. With the taller girls, I mean shorter women, they can really put on the muscle, and they get that. They were like fire plugs. They're just like people like look at people like Michaela Aycock or lady who I've been talking to. Branka Janjogovic. I remember the lady back in the day who's one of my favorites, Colette Gourmand, Paula Suzuki, Rosemary Jennings. They were like about 5'3" to about 5 feet. Also, Alicia Young, she's like about size. Her and Angela Yao are around about 5'3" and 5'2". And I know the lady is also a little bit taller. About your size, I think it's Teresa Vasic. And she's kind of a bit tall, but she has big shoulders. Not much in the leg part. That's the thing is she don't have a good loud definition, but she's doing pretty good. We got here, my man, Lawrence Perkins going through. Good morning, Jamie, George, and everybody in the chat. Happy Tuesday. Appreciate you here. Also, we got my man here, CS, saying muscularity and femininity is overlooked. It's very remarkable, and the list, which includes Miss Hart, is long and underpromoted. From Tanya Knight to Corey Everson, Autumn Rampy, and so on. There's so many amazing women in this sport. And this is your man. He loves you. He loves you. Yes, sir. CS overlooked. Her goal is to keep femininity all the while, but being super muscular. And that is the debate, And also, my man Ballsy said she's perfect for physique. I mean, no, like I said again, she's good where she's at because with physique, you have to come in like that's again. Physique was brought in to be more of the downscale version of women's bodybuilding. But like I said, the divisions are starting to melt. If you look at the last Miss Olympia, where Sarah Vilgas came in a little softer, but then she lost to Natalia, who came in huge. I mean, and I remember this happened about a few years back with Iris Kyle, where she was told to come in a little softer because that's when she won the Olympia back in 2004. But she lost to also a lady who like yourself, who's a mom with a son. Xenia Kim came in just a lot more buff. And that's just, like I said again, the judging criteria keeps changing. They want you to be feminine, but you want you to be also have masculinity. You'll go to a show, you see a girl who wins, and she's got a little off, and be somebody who comes in great condition. And then the same show lady comes see that same person who comes in great condition wins. It keeps changing. That just, it just kind of.
It's very subjective. It's subjective, and what the judges on that panel prefer.
Yeah, like one thing is you can't keep your women in a box. You don't tell guys like Heidi Chopin, Brandon Curry, and all those guys say you can't go any bigger. You gotta go. You can't. You don't put them in a box, but you try to keep the women in a box. And like I said, talk about the debate of femininity. Like you look at somebody like Brooke Walker who competed. He took third. Brooke has a better look, very feminine, very soft. You think she should have won, but they gave Natalia, who came in a lot bigger because Natalia, in my opinion, her and Sarah are not that overly pretty. They look all right, but not that overly pretty. But if this is about looks, I think femininity is about what women present, but also as men, we see it's about looks, and the majority of the judges are men. I think, like I said again, femininity should be only a small requirement when it comes to judging. It should be about what the presentation that athlete brings to the table and how they look. We got
it should be the whole package, top to bottom, all of it.
Yeah. But like I said, it still should be not too much of a factor where it takes away from the athlete.
Right.
This is my opinion. We have different possibilities of this. But anyway, we have a man. CS says MC tried to go with it, then ESPN took over, and they weekly recap shows. Mr. Franco Colombo, late Franco Colombo, does a lot of the online work, but that's not enough attention or money being offered. And that's the sad thing about it. So all it comes to money. And also he says. Bear Francis got roasted in Permanent Iron 1 for her looks, but that was a miscalculation. Very strong, tomboyish, attractive looks, which also gets underplayed. And there's a wide range of beauty. And, every woman's beautiful. You're gonna have the women who look a little hard, a little gruff, but they come good. We have women like yourself and other ladies who look very feminine, very beautiful. Got your hair done. She got made up for me today, folks. I feel special. I feel so special. I appreciate that. But like I said, this is the thing about this sport. It's so subjective. What you got to walk a fine line. You got to find your place in it. And people like Monique. You competed. Who works with you. And I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a fan of Monique Joseph. She's a great lady, and women like yourself who come to the sport because you have a passion for it, and you respect what the sports you get out of the sport. This is one thing I believe, truthfully, you should get back as much as you put in as you get out of it. I watch shows where see a guy walk away with $20,000-$30,000, especially in the pro level. Some women might walk away, if they're lucky, $5,000, $3,000. Well, like I said again, it costs more for you ladies to compete. Now, Sarah Vic's been stepping up a couple of times. She put in some money for some shows, especially for division. I wish more people would step up. If you feel like bodybuilding is losing something, well, support it. Step up. Don't, closed mouth don't get fed.
I agree with you, 100%.
Yeah, we got my man here. He loves old school stuff. Talia Knight won the Miss International, and they have been the show she popped for PDs, which may have hurt the show's reputation. That's the thing is the debate about use, but the fact is again, PD and stuff like that. You use that to help you as recovery. It's not a substitute to build muscle. It helps with recovery. And I do content on MMA, where even MMA fighters use like this is a fighter by the name of Nick Diaz. He's an MMA fighter on the UFC. He talks about everybody use steroids, and it's for help you recover. Like after you injury, I think the guidelines it should be like if it's only used for medical reasons and it's given to you by a doctor, it should be allowed. But the fact is, it's just everybody's gonna point at bodybuilding and say, "You're on steroids, you're on this, you're on that. You don't get that big and huge for that." You can't build muscle like that. You can build muscle
naturally. That shortcut mentality. People think it's a shortcut, just like dieting and diet pills and all that. They think that it's a short, it's a shortcut, and everybody wants that quick fix. And they think, especially now, if you look at the stuff on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, about PEDs. That's what everybody thinks it is. They think it's a shortcut. It's a cheat sheet. It's, and it's exactly what you're saying, it's for recovery. It's, just there's so misconception around all of it. But, you can't, if somebody comes at you about it, it's how you react to it.
I remember I was talking to this guy named Kenny Ko. He was at the Olympia last month. He was talking to some women. He talked to Teresa and Vasek, say, "Are you natural?" Or you? And he saw that, and I tell you, Teresa should have just, "Hey, you know what? Guess what you think?" and walked away from him. But she let herself be pulled in by this guy. I saw other women, like one lady I did an interview a while back, Rita West. She talked to him and said, "Yeah, I'm not natty. I know I take steroids." Other ladies who did, they mentioned it. They talk about it. It's just I think some people are too scared. Say, I want to use a nanny. You don't build muscle that size without taking something, and I know my man. I got a friend. His name is Sean Stewart. He's an amateur competitor in men's physique. He's been telling stuff like that, and truthfully, it takes more than just lifting weights and dieting to do this. You do need something to give you that extra lift and pump. We got a man here, CS again. Bear Francis, I already read that. This is another one he posted. A decent man wouldn't even talk disrespectful to a porn star, never mind a bodybuilder. If anything, you ask, what's the diet? So what kind of, what's your diet? What I know you got kids to feed, what did you eat? Because the baby said, "Mommy, you want some of my macaroni and cheese?" Say, "Nah, baby, I can't have it. I can't have it." Say,
no, it's really, people try to make it out to be this big, elaborate, it's got to be fancy schmancy, whatever else. No, I eat the same shit every day and I'm okay with it. I just season it differently. I start my day with oatmeal, blueberries, eggs, or, if we change something up, a whole grain English muffin, it all depends on your macros. And then my proteins are going to be my chicken, my seafood, lean ground beef, and then my carbs are rice, sweet potatoes, and it's the same stuff all day, and then your fruits and veggies. It's
it's a time. I know, like I said again, the process of bodybuilding is about the amount of food you take and how often you take it.
Yeah,
and it helps with the growth and development as your physique goes along.
So I do eat 6 meals a day. So, and like this past weekend, my stepdaughter had a volleyball tournament. I pack my food. When my son has a wrestling meet, I pack my food and I take it with me. You prepare for it. If you don't prepare, then you're going to set yourself up for failure. And, if people ask you, "Hey, where are you eating?" "Here." "Oh, you got chicken and rice." They think it's going to be some whatever. And I'm like, "No, it's chicken and rice."
That's how we have a thing called chicken bog. We get rice, you get chicken, you get sausages. Some people like to use the sausages, use it like the pork sausage. Some people get sausage, the smoked sausage. I like I like the pork sausage more than I like because you can really mill it because they got more seasoning to it. But it's not that type of rice. It's just plain white rice.
It's plain white rice. Either jasmine or basmati is what I go to. Sometimes we'll put it in the rice cooker, and other times when we don't have time, like I do the little microwavable packs. That's what I say. It's easy to do. When we go on vacation, I still meal prep. I eat my chicken and rice sitting out on the beach.
I got a friend of mine. She told me how she had a friend's wedding, and we go to a wedding. You eat a chick, you eat beef. You say steak, rice, or chicken. I mean, steak, fish, or chicken. But she bought her own food, and and that thing is like, you can't eat everything. You can't just because you're prepping, you're getting ready. Even if you're not competing, you still want to follow. It says a clean diet because it's about building your body. We got a man here.
Now I still do. I do a cheat meal, which I know that there are people that don't believe in a cheat meal and whatnot, and that's totally fine. It's whatever works for you, your body, your clients, whatever. But my coach and I have discovered my body does better when I do keep a cheat meal in every week, and typically I'm even consistent with my cheat meals. I typically eat at the same local restaurant, and I get crumble cookies as my dessert because I know how my body does with it. And sometimes we'll venture out. Other than that, now on prep, no, but now that, I'm in the bulking phase, I do have a little bit more flexibility, but I still eat consistently what I'm supposed to eat. He tells me to eat this, and this. Okay. Yeah. Well, then that's what I'm going to prepare for.
What's that one food got you acting like, Chris Rock from New Jack City? As Pookie said, it's calling my name, man. It's calling me, man. Be calling my name, man. Be calling me.
Probably pizza.
I did an interview with Barbara Majan, and she said after she did Olympia, her first meal after the show was pizza. Everybody loves pizza. It's very traditional food here.
But I did find a really good pizza seasoning. So now I'll even put it on my chicken sometimes.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, it's not the same, but you find little stuff like that. Like I cut dairy out for the most part. And I found this cheese seasoning at Trader Joe's that I use. You find stuff that works, and it's trial and error, and sometimes your body doesn't react to stuff. There was even during prep where, your digestive tract, once you get down that lean, it gets all kinds of wonky. Mm-hmm. And we even had to switch, like we had switched around potatoes and rice. And then it got to a point to where I couldn't digest the potatoes anymore. So then we had to switch it back to rice. So it's really like I've really learned to listen to my body, and the human body is a fucking machine. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, my machine's clogged up a bit, but still, it's a process, But here we got CSA. The judges are a big part of the problem with the changing criteria overall. It probably hurts the women, and that's true, with hard looks, and it may cost Sandy Riddell when she was losing to Corey Everson. He still has to go back to the old schools. We got your man here. She is absolutely amazing, but she's the most humble and modest person you will ever meet. You should see all the people who thank her for providing daily motivation. She's rare breed, and that's from your man there. Yeah, that's a good man. That's a good man. And a while back, I was watching something. Oh, I'm making her blush. See, I can't blush. I turn purple. But I was watching something a while back on because I follow you on IG. Mm-hmm. I was watching something that really, when I see something on here that really gets me really gets me interested about you ladies. This is something, I saw a while back. I think you did it about this last year. Where is it? I had set it up, but I've been going through. These are lovely kids. And there's your man there, your man holding you. You can't grab that ass. Where is it? I know it's on here. Taking a while, folks. Talk about yourself. We're getting there. I think it's not this one. I'm close to it. Where I think it was one of the videos I saw that really got me interested in you. Where is it? It's somewhere here. I know I saw it.
I post an awful lot.
Yeah, you post. It's good.
Makes me really realize that.
But I think it's this one. I'm getting close to it. But yeah, it's good to be on social media. And because that's the thing where you get attention. It also helps you with promotions. That's your little
cool
baby.
To look back on now too, though. Like I love Timehop, and when it pops stuff up and whatnot, and it's amazing to look back on just how far I've come. Especially if I do have a day where I'm like, I don't feel like I'm making progress like I should or whatnot, and something pops up in Timehop, and I'm like, holy shit, that was just a year ago, or that was 2 years ago, and I love it.
Right here, and we're gonna play it real quick.
You want to know something? Freaking feels good to feel good. Yep, it does. It feels really good to feel good. And I say that on Monday because what better day is there to start than today? You didn't do it yesterday if you didn't do it. Why are you worried about tomorrow? Start today. Literally. Start today. How many hours left do you have in your day? You can use 30 minutes of that to get your body moving. You can use your entire day to make good food decisions about what you're going to put in your body and what your body needs to run successfully and properly. You can use all these things. It doesn't matter whether you start at the beginning of the year as a New Year's resolution, whether you start halfway through the year or whatever. Stop making excuses because it is so worth it to freaking feel good about yourself. It is. It feels good to feel good.
That is something I think a lot of people need for motivation. Where it feels good to feel good, and in these pictures with you, this is like from a year ago, how you used to be, and what weight you were back then a year ago.
What weight was I?
Yeah.
I think there I was right around 190.
I wish I was 190. I wish I was 190 again. And,
But the even crazier thing is now I sit between 180 and 185, and I look completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The scale's an asshole.
So that I go to my doctor, get on scale. One day I'll be like, "Oh, George, you're 402 now." I say, "Whoa, that's great." Then another day I say, "George, you're 45." I say, What happened?" I say, "What did you eat?" I just ate some. I try to not eat too much. I know I eat a little. One thing what got me good better weight was like I used to work my side job. I used to leave and eat and go to the Waffle House, and that was like early in the morning. And it's never good to that. But sometimes you work all day and all night, and you just want something. Want something to eat, it's just you just want something to chew.
Yeah.
And like I said, and you made some gains. I mean, you made some improvements here, and just this Union Chad, you got your as hollowed grounds. That's y'all business together.
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh. And and check out folks. Like I said, you want to check out her IG and check out her and her husband Chad and their business together. They also do shopping in, so you want to check out anything you want interested in. And this is a way to promote. So, like I said, again, you can check your social media. This is one of your other sons. You go fishing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do like Andy Griffith. Yeah, that's a cute boy. And and you should be proud of yourself. How where you came from to where you are now, and the work you put in, the time you put in, sacrifice you have to make. And there's people that got to think about it. You have to make sacrifices. Like I said again, there's times where you can't eat the same stuff that your family eat. You can't go anywhere. I know I've talked to some ladies that they lost some friendships because they decided to get into this life of bodybuilding. And what is your mindset when you say, hey, what, Jamie, I can't, we can't be friends anymore. We gotta just, what's that feeling when somebody tells you, hey, we're just, we're parting ways or like that?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough that I didn't have anybody tell me that. At least not to my face.
No, not to your face.
But I would say, the group of friends that I have that surround me have been nothing more than supportive. Now, in the past, I've had some really shitty friends, but I learned from that and what I didn't want in a friendship. And, just as I've gotten older, I've migrated away from people that behave that way. So the circle that surrounds me now, I couldn't ask for a better and more supportive group. And I've got friends that, don't work out. They have zero desire to work out. And that's fine. And I've got other friends that compete with me. So it just, I've been fortunate enough to where like I'm surrounded by good people that love me for me. And, they've supported me. They've cheered me on, at first, some of them were like, are you for real? But then, at the same time, they're also like, well, that's no surprise because they all know how competitive I am and how much I enjoy working out. But I think, they've enjoyed watching my journey, and there's actually some of them that have changed their life now because of it. And that's really cool. it's one thing to, inspire people through social media, but then it's another whenever you have people close to you and people in your hometown that come up to you and they're like, you've inspired me. I saw you on social media and, holy cow. And yeah, I don't know. It's that for me is also motivation, and it keeps me going. Like I want to show people that, if I can do it, you can do it. And just go for it. Just go all in.
That's
Go
great
for it.
because
Life's too short not to.
yeah, because like if I start doing this content, I really start some of these ladies who I've talked to, people I've interviewed, really inspire me because one thing was like I say I was almost 500 pounds and I decided to lose weight. And conversation I had these people and they supported me. I remember one time I was doing an interview with somebody and one of the ladies did an interview a while back said like, "Boy, George, you lost a lot of weight because I mean you look different." And I said, "You know what? It's because people like you inspire me." Because I am going to have my habits. There's times where, one time it was like I was working out in Planet Fitness, you know, it was like maybe 30 minutes after I finished my workout. I said, I'm hungry. I was driving around and then I saw the one thing that called my name. It be calling me name. It was this place called Hong Kong. It's a Chinese buffet place. And it's been since I think after a little bit before December before I hate eating Chinese food in a while. I said, you know what? I don't want it. But I need it. I'm gonna, but but like I said, it's just things that why I do conversation with you ladies. So you share your stories with me. Tell me about yourself. That really inspires someone like me and tells me, you know what, it's not too late for me because I'm 48. I'm gonna be 49 in November. And you know what? There's things I have to make changes. Sometimes you get to a point in your life saying, I'm too old to be changed. But you know what? Change the process. And it takes time. Nothing gets done over a day.
Well, and it doesn't just have to be with working out. Not everybody enjoys the gym. Not everybody enjoys working out. We're all different and we're all unique and we all have a gift. You just have to figure out, what is my gift? What makes me excited? What pushes me to my limits, whatnot. And I've got girlfriends that have actually gone back to school and are in the process of getting a second degree because of it. I've got some other, that are doing artwork and want to learn how to play instruments and whatnot. So, I mean, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be, just necessarily bodybuilding or going to the gym and working out. Now it's walking every day and taking care of your body important. Absolutely it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's your thing. Everybody's different. Everybody's unique and you've got to find what works for you.
Mm-hmm. We got here CS saying the rules have to be clear and uniform. That's what's illegal and in ban. I like to see more natural bodybuilding shows elevate in coverage. And yeah, that's fair. Also, we got a man, Lawrence Perkins. Mr. Chad, you blessed to have amazing women like her in your life to keep that love life of vows, everlasting peace and happiness going to you all. And also your boy says, Lawrence, much respect. Death blessed to have her. Yeah, that's a good man. That's a good man. That's a good man. And CS saying, I like to think the genetics and past athletic background win the day over PEDs with the best bodybuilders. Now, were you before you got into it? Did you have athletic background? Did you was in sports, or were you more like a girly girl?
No, I was not a girly girl. I've always been tomboyish. And yeah, I actually. So when I was younger, my parents signed my brother up for Taekwondo and he's 4 years younger than me. And I was like, no, I want to do it too. And so that was the first sport that I did. And then, they signed him up for baseball. And when I was in 5th grade, I'm like, no, I want to play too. Well, they had slow pitch softball. So in 5th grade, I played slow pitch softball and loved it. My dad was a baseball player. He was a catcher. And so then going from there in 6th grade, when I started middle school, my dad actually had me in the weight room. So I learned how to squat and I mainly did leg exercises because I love catching. I loved that position. And so that's what I played all through high school and then through college. So I was a catcher, which that's where the size in my legs comes from. It's just over time and building that muscle and working that muscle. And then, even after college, I continued to work out. Did I do it to the extreme as what I do now? No. I've had the ebbs and flows of life and, working out, but I always came back to the gym because that's where I feel the most at peace. I love the weight room. I love hearing the weights, hit one another and just, I don't know. I love the environment. I love it.
The sounds, but not too much of the smells.
Yeah, some of the smells can be.
Yeah, I remember I did an interview with an amateur herself. She said that when she was behind the stage, she had to do this. She had to get like a fabric softener to put under her pits because y'all ladies be smelling funky. Even though
it smells like onions.
Y'all look good. Yeah, I know when we see y'all on like videos, y'all look good. And this is smoke shame. You ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. And y'all look good and y'all buff, but then back there y'all like
Oh yeah, and just in case people don't know, like with all the spray tan and stuff, you can't wear deodorant because it streaks. So that it smells like a big bucket of onions back there. But then you got the guys back, and then you mix the no deodorant with all the nerves, and it just yeah.
Hey guys, if that don't kill an erection, that most definitely will. But some guys, yeah, she smells funky.
I remember hugging some of my friends after the show, and I was like, I'm gonna get this all over your clothes, and I stink. I'm really sorry, but I still love you.
That's the thing. Is like, hey, friends. That's what friends are for. A man is saying, do you drink food? Do you drink your food? In other words, protein drinks. And so, what brand do you recommend? Like, are you a big protein shake person, or you just say, water is good?
The only protein shake that I drink is right after my workout. And I actually drink First Form's Formula One. I've been drinking that now for well over a year after my workouts, but I go ahead and make it before I go to the gym and tote it with me. So as soon as I walk out the door, I'm getting that protein back in my system. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the only, I don't substitute meals and stuff with a protein shake now. Mm-hmm. I get my protein from my Whole Foods, which is the best way to get it anyways. But yeah.
My man Lawrence Percy picking on me, say, haha, the New Jack City. Yes, that's, I'm a quote movies. Also, CS is saying, you have a bit of a Nicole Ball look. You could be her cousin. Nicole Ball was a competitor back in the good part of 2000. She competed in bodybuilding, but then she switched over to physique. She's actually from Canada, but I remember Nicole Ball. Also, he says, one big happy family, and he saw the pictures on there. And also, he says, I like Nicole Ball. You have the vascularity in the legs, which I am a judge. I score high, and it's a very strong, attractive look, and it's hard to attain. Yeah, and it's like some women don't have no legs. I see some women, and what's the hardest part for you to work and get your results from? What is I think often here ladies said that the hardest body part to work out is their back because you can't really see as well. Now there's some women who have some great backs,
Mm-hmm.
Some, I think I remember I did an interview with one lady said how that she was doing a show. He said that back was everything was great, but the one thing that didn't get her first was her back.
Yeah.
Is that's one of your toughest body parts, like you say?
It is. It's definitely been my hardest to grow, but I say that, but at the same time, I've only been truly working back now for 2 solid years. So it's not like, beforehand, and my husband and I work out together, and beforehand, I would always bitch about back day. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do back day because it was my weakest muscle group. So I just didn't want to work it. And I knew going into this, I have to build my back. And now I enjoy working back. I have 2 full back days a week. And I also, 3 or 4 days a week, I will end my workout with pull-ups. So when my body's completely fatigued, then I'm still cueing those muscles to push it some more. And it's really, I've made huge improvements in my back. So just keep growing it.
Legs are great because I know some people, they say they hate the leg day because you remember Chappelle's show with Rick James, we got beaten the legs by Charlie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy say, "What about the legs, Charlie Murphy?" And they be walking out. Some guy said, "I do leg day today," and be coming out and say, "What about my legs?" He just crawling on his arms. My man CS says, some have trouble with the calf area because, like I said, the calf, you don't have because you have great legs. And like I said, folks, this is the lovely lady I'm talking to. I'm not gonna hold her too much longer because I know she's busy. Landon, I hope you're back in your class. I know it's lunchtime, so he's probably watching. So and the other kids are watching her, the other daughter and the other kids, and think about this sport. Like I said again, I'm a fan, and I like to give my thoughts and opinions of it. I feel like this. Said again, I think this is how I feel like this. There should be more support for you women. You put it just as much as time as the men do. It costs you more to compete because, like I said, you have to get your hair, your makeup done, everything else. And you know what? You're not getting the same respect and recognition. I feel like this. This is something I believe. If I was someone, I said, Mrs. Hart, you are a competitor with a great physique. You had a great look to you. I want to see you further in your path as an athlete. I want to sponsor you. Some guys be like this. Hey Jamie, you're kind of cute. You got some pretty eyes. You got those nice legs. If you do me a favor for me, we'll do a favor for you. No. Because I know some ladies, they have to do things to make the money. I'm talking about how some women do OnlyFans, some women do certain video stuff like that. You and your husband got a business together.
Well, and I work full time in corporate America also. Mm-hmm. So it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something you don't want to do. But if there was a way, like I said, I think, especially as amateurs, it's harder for y'all because it costs you more because you don't get as much back out of it as you do because you got to pay because you pay for your registration fees. You sometimes some ladies would do 2 classes or 2 divisions. I know ladies who've done figure and have done physique. I know ladies done physique and done bodybuilding. I've even seen one girl, she did wellness and did bodybuilding. And it's just the money you got to put into the sport, and the time you got to put into it. My man, CS says that Paige Shogren may be one to hit up the tips for the back area. Yeah, because I did an interview with Paige, and she's a great lady. If you want, if you don't follow us on IG, I'll send you a link to check her out. Okay. I did an interview with her. She's a great young lady. She's out in the West Coast. Also, I think she trains to work with people too. So if you're interested in working with back, she has an amazing physique, amazing body. Yeah, she is. She's up and coming. I think she eventually get her pro card this year too, if she gets one of it. Now, as I said again, this is something I'm going to ask you. What would you like to see change in the sport of bodybuilding? Not just overall, but also as a woman. Overall, also as a woman, what you would like to see change?
I would say just the fairness of it. And, bring more popularity to it. I think that's a big part of why, especially the bodybuilding category is being pushed to the side. If you've got something that the federation itself is pushing to the side, then why are new and upcoming women going to try to compete in it? I think you need to offer it more at more shows. The more visibility you have, the more interest that you're going to have with it. And there's a lot of younger girls now that want to be muscular. They want to have, that muscular physique. And, if women like myself and other competitors can't show them that it can be done, and you can succeed in this sport and there are opportunities in this sport, then why are they going to do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think one thing debate is always like that. If I get so muscular, I won't be feminine anymore. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's all depending on how far you want to go. Yes. If you take certain things that will take away from your femininity, yes, it will affect you. But if you work smart and do things bit by bit, slowly develop yourself as an athlete. A lot of women, there's women who started off as bikini competitors, went up to figure. There's some figure girls started as figure, went up to physique. There's physique girls went to bodybuilding. I say this again. You can't. This one girl I follow. She's a figure competitor, and it looks like she might be going up to physique. It's about the process. You start as one thing, and then you go up to another. Especially how the way you train. If you train heavy, you're going to build more muscle. But if you train, say, I don't want to go up that way, so I'm just going to train with a moderate amount, so I wouldn't get too big. But if you're still a person who believes that, like, I'm training heavy, I'm doing 350 in the bench, I'm doing 500 in squats, I'm doing this. If you train that way, you're going to build that muscle. Your body's going to react to it, and you just get. And even when the judges tell you, well, you need to pull back a little bit. Why do I want to pull back? I'm going to my next evolution as a competitor. I shouldn't have to, pigeonhole myself because you feel like my muscle offends you. If you feel offended, that's your problem, not mine. We got a man here, CS saying, a question for both. Has money improved across the board for women? No, that's the answer right at the gate. No, it's not. Other than what Sylvia has done a couple of shows, she gave $20,000 at Pittsburgh, which she shouldn't have gave to Natalia, and she gave $15,000 to at Texas to Melissa Type. And also the Wings of Strength. This is funny like this. The Wings of Strength puts up money for the Rising Phoenix. You get $50,000 for Andrew gets a car at $50,000. Other competitors get a good chunk of change. Also, you get posers like best poser, best video. The Olympia, which is a bigger show. I think Andrew gets $50,000. Natalia and some of the other divisions get $40,000, while guys like Heidi Chopin, Big Ramy, and those other guys will walk away with nearly a $500,000. I would say like this: even though women bodybuilding is not as popular, it may not bring in promotion, but I think like this: at least give. I would say honestly, give Andrew at least about $100,000 to a couple of $100,000. Same thing with Natalia. They put as much time into this sport. They should get. So one thing we do is Andrew wouldn't have to compete in the Rising Phoenix. If she goes to Olympia, gets $200,000. Hey, I don't need another car. That $200,000 is good enough, and she can really promote things. I think that should be fair. I think the money should. Women, and truthfully, women get an unfair pay disparity in the world. It's also we always say that like you look at WNBA and you look at NBA. NBA is going to bring because guys are more talented. That's the fact of it. WNBA it does not as good. That's why you see a lot of players go overseas and play because there's more money over there than here in the States. I watch a couple of shows where women were wearing their sponsors on their clothing. You'll see it on other than maybe a Nike or something like that, whoever's but they will wear something like a LifeLock on their shirts. It's just about what people would think. Like the promoters, they set the shows, but they get the money from the sponsors, and sponsors wouldn't want to put money behind Win Vitamin. That's not fair. We got here my man Omar Costa. I love her eyes, all beautiful, and also he says those hunky eyes are beautiful. I think he also he's saying her mouth is beautiful. He said you got a pretty mouth. She, like I said, and let's quote my man, the other guy. She is beautiful. What? My father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never like it, not one bit. Hey, calm down, my guy. Calm down. Also, we got here, my man, CS. More of the push to link media and athletes to have bigger online presence to offset the decline in TV, and then you'll see ESPN type network to do a recap show. I think ESPN or Fox Sports, they should do this. Also. A bodybuilding host for fitness type show would be big help, but it would have to be someone with appeal. And there's more than half. I think, I mean, back in the day, I remember Corey used to be on ESPN, like Fitness with Galad. I mean, back then ESPN had the fitness shows. They stopped showing those anymore, and I think someone like Andrew Shaw would be good because Andrew Shaw, oh my God, Monique could. Monique has that. I mean, I love it. Monique. You pose with Monique when she does her wax spread and say like, Monique, why make you like a little girl?
And she in person, she is one of the sweetest and most genuine people that you'll meet. I love Mo. She knows I love her too.
Yeah, I follow. She posts a lot of stuff on TikTok. She does some crazy stuff. She has some big cow eyes. I mean, maybe it just need to. It's to get me. I'm a muscle person. I mean, I tell you, this is a story I remember years ago, and this is how we guys out here because with bodybuilding, your fan base is mostly going to be. This is how you break down the fan base with bodybuilding and bodybuilding world. The fan base for the man is going to be a lot larger because the fact is it's going to be guys who are fan of guys in muscle and guys who are come sa who are fans of men in muscle. Then you have a small fraction of women. But with you women, your body business is going to be mostly men. Even though, and we guys, it's funny when people make comments like, hey, guy, you say, are you gay? Because wait a minute. This is a beautiful woman I got in front of me. It'd be one thing if I have a Woody for Heidi Chopin or maybe Chris Cormier. I was a big Chris Cormier fan back then, but you are a female, you're a woman, you're attractive. You may not be what appeals the everyday Tom, Dick, and Harry, but you are appealing to some factor because the fact is, like right here, like I said, I've been so busy looking at all these answers, trying to ask these questions because these guys, when I get a pretty woman on here, these guys go crazy. They act like these guys just had a person. You my girl, you know. But it's just exciting when you see a woman genuinely like yourself, who have a passion for a sport, who's just beautiful as much as you're outside as inside. And Chad, you're a lucky man. You know, you have a great woman. You better behave. Don't cheat on her, or she'll kick your ass, man. I mean, I wouldn't want to. Be happy with what you get. Some men, they act like I want. One thing is like, I never been in relationships. I had relations, but if I'm in with somebody, I want to be with them fully tilted. And it's a good thing he come here and supporting you and standing by with you. But we got here, my man, Balls Deep. I love a party mouth. And like I said, he says, has she tried expanding her brand? Like I said, you and your husband, you have your brand together, and and maybe, like I said, really reach out to people, like I said, and get them to follow. Like I said again, folks, her social media stuff is in the description. If you want to reach out, check out her. She also has a link tree with all the information about herself, and also, she has a Facebook. And if you're interested in following her and supporting her, but here's my rule, guys. And I don't know why I gotta tell you guys this. And and I just no deep pics, guys.
No.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop that. Do better with yourself. Don't do it. But like I said, lovely lady, we're not gonna hold much longer, and we're gonna let you go. I know it's about time for you for your fourth or fifth meal for the day.
You're good.
What you eating this time? Chicken, broccoli, like that.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice.
Yes.
Chicken rice. Yeah, that's how we do chicken rice. I think I'll probably cook myself a meatloaf or something later this evening. I got some ground chicken, some ground turkey. I'm making myself my own meatloaf. It's just something different. I don't eat too much beef. I try to eat more chicken, a little bit more. I don't like. So one thing when I start this process, I say, what? I gotta get away from processed foods. I go and buy the daily meats instead of buying the stuff you can get like in a Oscar Myers or something like that. I try to get away from that. I try to eat less bread as much as I can, but even now and then I get a hankering for cookies or something like that. It's sometimes hard just to give up some things. It's like crack, it's just like it's just hard to give it up.
Well, that's what the industry makes it. The food industry and the FDA, they make it to where you're literally addicted to these foods because of what they put in them. And that was, when I started my whole process with getting my diet on point, I had those cravings. I had to break it. It's like breaking an addiction because they put, all this shit in there that doesn't need to be in there. And so you have to, it's literally breaking a habit.
Yeah, one thing I don't drink milk. I don't drink milk anymore, but I still eat cheese every now and then because cheese tastes good. But it's just hard to break those habits. And especially when you get older, it's hard to break. Especially I don't drink sodas much anymore because the carbohydrates. I do drink juice and tea every now and then. I try to drink more water, and that's been doing good for me. Helps my skin complexion a little better. But it's about the process of it. Everything is about what you put into it and what you put in your body. But this is something I would like to say, and this is to everybody out there. I know there's guys out there who follow these ladies like Jamie, who are still had the boots in the ground, 10 toes down, who's climbing up in the industry. And if you're interested in sponsoring her, again, don't be that weird guy, and saying, "Hey, Jamie, let me see something." No, be this person. Miss Hart, I want to approach you with a plan. I want to invest in you as an athlete in your future. So what I want to do is I want to do some this, that. So you wouldn't have too much to worry about. If you want to go somewhere, I got your plane tickets. You want to bring the kids, I got that. If you want a place to stay, I got you. I got a place I can set up with you with. I don't want nothing more from you but see you progress as an athlete. And that's what we want to see for people to do. I know there's guys who smokes out there who go and do sessions and pay about $1,000. That could be enough to reach out to somebody saying, this is cash you can use. I don't want anything from you. This is something you can use to help you with your prep. You can use it for your travel. One thing also I believe with this, especially as I did an interview with a lady. She competes overseas. She says it's hard for her to find shows for qualification. She's done shows where she qualified pro card but there was enough competitors, she couldn't become a pro. And I think there's so few shows women's bodybuilding today. Like I said, trying to phase it out. But like I said, and for years been trying to put a knife in the as the IFBB back in 2014. After 2014, it said again, was my quote from my man Liam Neeson as Henry Carr, aka Raja Guru, says, "They walk quietly behind the division, stabbing the heart." And bodybuilding's still going, even though you create divisions like Physique, even Physique's in that stink eye, where the shows have dropped off this year for bodybuilding. For the pro level, it might be maybe 5 or 6 shows in the States and 2 or 3 overseas.
Yeah,
And it's getting a lot harder. I think, because Linda Murray, she had at least 2. I hadn't seen Savannah on the list. She's having Atlanta, I believe. And it's just, I was thinking about going to Atlanta because I got a niece that stays up there. And, she brought me home when I missed my train from Savannah. Thanks to my sister Marlena. Shout out to her. And, I got to get my guard fixed. So that's when I got it. So I got to take my time. But it's just, I think there's guys out there. If you can come together and approach these promoters and say to you, like, especially in the pro level, hey, I want to see more. I want to see when bodybuilding have a place in your show. You can get 10 or 20 guys come together, maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a piece, and you can say, this is the money to take care of any fees like that, and get prize money for the ladies. It could be done, but it got for the people to have to step out. I know some guys don't want people to know that they're fans of women with muscle. I know they'll be ashamed because they've had a fan for you ladies. But the fact is, hey, you can get somebody to step up for you, say, hey, you know what? Be representative. Approach the promoters. Add a show here and there. There's shows where there's maybe just one division, that may be bikini or maybe men's open. You say, hey, just approach the right promoter. And also even in the amateur level, there's just so few shows for you ladies. And that's why some ladies say, you know what? I'm gonna do Physique, even though I'm more of a bodybuilder.
And that's true. Yeah. So it's any support is greatly appreciated. And we can't just the female bodybuilders alone. We're not enough of a voice. We need people like you and others that support us, to help voice that also. So
that's what my platform is for, because I want to give a voice to you. I don't have the financial means to do it. I live on a budget. I live in the house. I got 2 roommates, and my nephew, my brother, they're paying the asses. It's just that the fact that I think this is a great division. As a guy, I wasn't too weird because of the physical part of it. Because as a teenager, getting older, and I find, like I said again earlier, the old smoke shame when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard, and but I went through my interviews, new content. I really learned a lot. The stuff I have another moniker. I call myself the Lord of the Wall, the Protector of the North, and I have my little birdies, my ravens, come tell me information that I really didn't know about from the outside, and I'm really, someone has to give a voice. I may not have the means and the way financially to do something, but I have a platform here where I'd like to give y'all ladies the opportunity to come on here. Like I said, I would love to talk to people like Mo. I love to talk to people like Andrea. I love to talk to people like Sarah Vilgas, or ladies on the higher end. I would love to talk to them. But the fact is, if I can't get them, I talk to the next best. I won't call them the next best thing. I call it the ones who have their boots in the ground, 10 toes down, who are the ones who put in the work in, who are going out there making a sacrifice. I like to talk to y'all because, like I said, you give me something that sometimes the top ones won't. They'll try to dodge situation. Try to say, no, tell me the truth. Give them to me. This is like saying, I'd rather have the ugly truth than a pretty lie. And you can't live with a pretty lie. It doesn't help you. A man here, CS, I think the IFBB has been stinking in stingy withholding purse money. If a few deep-pocketed types were to come in, you change the prize money pool. Some merchandising needs to be come in the picture. The thing is, a lot of big companies don't want to back bodybuilding because they'll throw money in other sports, but won't bother anybody because they see it as a fringe sport. And also the thing about the steroids saying that, but there's more steroid use in major baseball, football, basketball, boxing. Even use steroids. Everybody use steroids. Many girls like Kristen Hung dropped out of the significant time for good because of low prize money. Many exhibit shows show fundraisers would be a way to drum up money and attention. And also he has one more here. Also, there needs to be a union where current and former competitors can organize and build a bank to have proper purse money. And that's the thing is also, I believe that because, like I said, even like if you look at back when they had the big when basketball had closed down, they had union.
Mhm.
When Major League Baseball had it, when that situation with that guy, Donald Sterling, the basketball union came together and pushed him out. But the fact is, bodybuilding is more of an individual sport. And I think some people are more worried about their short-term money than their long-term money. They want to take a risk. And I think a union would be good. One thing, like I got a friend, he used to play football, but he's a professional bodybuilder. And he told me when he played football, when he retired, he still gets a pension. He gets a pension. But then you got to think about the cost of a pro card. You get your pro card, that's like $200 and some a year you got to pay. And I know some ladies who say, "I got my pro card. I'm a pro, but I'm not gonna. I'm done. I don't want to do it. I'm a pro. I finally get. I'm a pro, but you're not. You never competed as a pro, but you had that. You had the honor to be a pro. But this is why I say like this. I think one thing is the IFBB is not going to do something like that. They're not. They should, because hey, no one comes to see Jim Mannion. No one comes to see Robert Chung. No one come. No, we come see y'all competitors. And if you as a competitor are the value reason why the sport is going, it should be more like insurance whenever you get hurt. It should, you should have covered your health insurance, life insurance. If you like say, what, if I go to the doctor to get my blood work, I don't have to pay out of my pocket. The amateurs, that's a lot harder for you because the fact is you got to pay in. But when you hit that pro level, when you are the top of the top, you should be taking care of the product. And that's what you are. You're the product. No one comes to see those other people. We come to see you. You're on the stage, hitting the lights, hitting the posing. You're doing what is your opinion? What is the most difficult pose you've done? Tell me what's your most difficult pose.
Oh, the lat spread.
That's the we love
the lat spread.
I heard some say that it's the ab and thigh because you really have to crunch in your.
No, that one I think that one's one of my best poses is the ab and thigh. It's the lat spread and just being able to pull my lats out. But now I can finally feel that muscle mind connection. So it has gotten better, but it's still, yeah.
Yeah.
Mo and I have worked on the lat spread.
I know when Mo do lat spread, it's like she has a like cobra hooves.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, it's like she has angel wings. It's like
she does. Oh, it's so impressive. Yeah. It's so impressive.
Yeah, my man CS says the report says have Corey Everson, Linda Murray, and come in along with guys like Sean Wade to run it. Yeah, that should be good. He also says like this, he's just repeating himself again. Corey Everson, he's just repeating himself. I had no way. You already put it out there. Don't repeat yourself. But like I said, we're gonna let you go. But one thing I want to ask you, again, I appreciate you coming through and sharing your story. Do you have anybody? I know you got your man. He's probably there. Landon. I hope you're back in school. Who you want to give a shout out to? A show like, hey, thank you for getting me here.
Oh, of course, my husband and my kids are my biggest. My parents. My parents have supported me. And then all of my girlfriends. Like it's just been, I don't know. Like I said earlier, the circle of people that I have around me has been nothing short of amazing. I'm very fortunate to have so much support. But yeah, it's all of them. It's everybody that surrounds me day in and day out. And I'm thankful for all of them.
Well, like I said, that's a beautiful thing. It's good to have those people in your life, who support you, stand by you. It's a tough sport. It's a difficult sport. It's like people who talk about it, how they talk about the sport. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And like I said again, it's not about what pills you pop or like this. It's about consistency. It's about getting up in the morning, go and work it out when you know you want to work out. And some days it'd be rainy and cold. Like it don't get down bad here compared to. I got a friend, he lives up around Boston. It just snowed the other day. Like I like this. Like this, like when it snows around here, people act crazy. You know how they like I'm in Joker, like this, like you say, like that's like whenever up north when it snows, it could be a foot. It could be a foot deep, but no one bats an eye. But when it snows down here, half an inch, everybody go crazy.
They do.
Yeah, I know people like going out milk. Why get milk for? It's only not even an inch. It's gonna melt by the time the sun comes out. You know, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like it when it's 80 degrees plus, and I'd rather sweat than be cold. I'm not a cool weather fan at all.
I'm not a big much of a warm weather fan because I'm a big dude. You know, I if I get out there, I'll be melting. I'll be like, he's melting. He's a ghetto snowman. You know, but like I said, I'm more like I like a little bit of the spring and a little bit, and well, not too much of spring because you already seen the yellow haze. On my car. Oh my god, I ain't washed my car till April. You know, I'm not. You know, no wasting money going to the car lot every day. Hey, you know, I also have I have a notice because a DVS system, and I get in the morning. You know, yeah, it's just bad. Like I said, but I'd rather live down here than live up there because you know. My father, he lived in New Jersey. He and my aunt, they passed away a long time ago. You know, my aunt passed away just past year, and you know, I wouldn't want to be up there this time of year. You know, especially I had a niece. She was in the Army, and she was stationed up in in Buffalo. She's only 5'5". My oldest niece. She said the snow was right about at her chest. I mean, I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I mean, you know, no, I couldn't do it. We got a man.
Thank you for her service. So my dad and brother are Marines, so I appreciate the sacrifice. Yeah.
Hoorah. I mean, I got my oldest niece and my youngest nephew. You know, my niece got out of the Army about a couple years ago. She had to get out. And my nephew, he's still in there. You know, I have people in the yeah. You know, they respect them. Respect those war dogs and respect them. Also, we have here. Wait a minute. You know, I text I texted twice to make sure you got the message. LOA. My apologies for hogging the show. Looking forward to seeing Miss Special J compete later in the year. Who's Mr. J? Miss Special J. You know. Also, to TBW, Miss Hart, off season, do you train 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times a week? She already said that earlier. And also, And also, there's a man Omar says she is 6 days a week off season. He was telling you that, you know. But like I said again, you know, I do thank you for coming through and sharing your story with me. And you know, like I said, you are a lovely lady, and I wish the best for you. I mean, you know, you have a good man in your corner. You have some great kids. You got all these friends and family, and you have people like me who want to see you evolve and hit to the next level. You know, as I said again, there's gonna be days like I have conversations. I have you know, some ladies I've become friendly with. They give me a phone so that we talk and tell me that some days, George, I tell you there'll be some dark days. And you know, there be those days when the darkness comes creeping up in your head, especially when you're prepped, when you're low, especially when you're low on, you can't eat carbs. Your blood should get low. You know, there be days where you're at home and your kids like, "Hey, mommy, what you want? What are you doing?" Say, "Okay, mommy, I leave."
You know, though, I'm one of those that I decided when I was going to do this, I was going to do it, and I'm making the choice to put my body through it. So I'm not going to bitch about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, that's one thing with the sport. If you're like, I have zero tolerance for that, because if you're choosing to do this, if you're choosing to do this sport and you're choosing to participate in it, don't bitch about it. Like, don't bitch about, you know, how tired you are, how this you are, which we all go through it, but you know, don't, and of course you're going to say it, and you know, because we all feel that way at some point, but I try to just look at the positive side of things. Like, I am fortunate enough that I do get to compete in this sport, and I just, I look at it as a positive thing. So
yeah, like one of my favorite movies is like Rocky Balboa always says, like, it doesn't matter how hard you can hit, it's about how you can take the hit and keep moving, how you can keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. You know, it's just about it's days where I know you want to climb out of your bed and go out to the gym. I know there's days where you want to just, you know what, I might want to have myself a nice cup of a hot cup of coffee, you know, and eat a cinnamon bun. Those are days where, you know what, I got to fight those temptations. You know, and they put in front of you, and you keep going and moving. And that's why I say I respect you, ladies. Like, I admire you not just for what you present, but who you are. And that's a good thing about that. We got one more from Man CS. Good to be contest mode with 6 days a week consistency. And thank you for that, brother. And like I said, again, folks out here, if you are someone who is truly interested in sponsoring an athlete, these ladies can use most definitely some real help. Not that guy. Not that guy out there. No, no. Stop it. Get some help. I mean, there's, hey, if you wanna, hey, go to OnlyFans for that shit. I know this is a true story. I remember this guy. I used to be on this. I used to go to his used to be like a chat room. We was like dedicated guys who fans and were in bodybuilding. And this guy told me like he went to a show one time. He used to work in sales and he traveled around and sometimes go to a show and he'd go to a show. And he was right there in the audience doing a show. It was like the finals in the women's bodybuilding division. And he's like sitting there, he's like enjoying the show, and then he hears a commotion in the back. He don't know what it is. He said, "What's going on?" He turns around. There's this guy. He was telling us how this guy was getting dragged out by security, his pants around his legs. I mean, it's just guys like that really makes it bad for guys like me who are fan relays. Because the fact is, we get paid because like you're that weird guy who's like, yes, I admit it. I'm not gonna lie about that. But there's a guideline to be respectful because you are a woman, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a woman who works in the business world. People have to understand that.
And that was the big thing whenever I did my first photo shoot. I laid it all out there, and the photographer was absolutely fantastic to work with. I didn't feel any kind of funky or whatever. I mean, it was just, it was very classy. I mean, I think this interview has been great. It's don't be that guy. Like, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't.
Like I said, guys, again, stop. Like women like this, I know. Like I said again, women like this excite you guys, especially when y'all ladies, because like I said, you can't be shredded 100% around time. You have to be, right now. She looks great right now. She looks great. Looks nice. She's all dressed up. I know it excites us guys, but the fact is, we have to be respected to understand that you are a woman. You have responsibilities. Last thing you want to do is like, honey, here's my phone. Somebody's calling me and say, "What's this, honey?" And Chad go, what the? You get a knock on your door and say, "Yeah, who is it? It's Chad. Hey, Chad, come on in." Say, "You sent it to my wife?" I thought I sent it to my wife. Oh, I'm sorry, Chad. I didn't mean to you.
And I can tell you, if I'm the kind of wife, if you send me some shit like that, I'm gonna show my husband.
Don't do that. I also got a man, Brian Williams. We do comments on MMA and over at CS Combat Sports. The brother George, good morning, and Miss Hart, appreciate you. And this is also from CS. How big is the bodybuilding scene in your region? And I ask because places like New Jersey, Florida, etc., have a bit of a community that it helps the athletes get to fund it to more with. And I think, like, because I'm in North Carolina, and a while back, this is going to be about a year ago, I went to an event with a guy I got in contact with by another one lady who will get an interview back, and I met some ladies who are in the sport of bodybuilding. A couple ladies I've become friends with and did interviews with. A couple ladies who are pro amateur level bodybuilders. And in North Carolina, it's like I did an interview with a lady of R.B. Whitney, and she lives in my home state. I did it. It's just in North Carolina. I just did an interview with Bree and Bree Marshall and yourself, and you have this lady named Lynn Elm who lives in South Carolina. There's Shannon Burkus. I become good friends with her. She lives in South Carolina. Lynn?
I do.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. We've been Facebook friends for a good while.
She and I worked out together and stuff. So
yeah, that's cool. I think I see she posts a lot. She works out at Planet Fitness too, and I follow because I work out at Planet Fitness. I use some of her stuff to help me work out because I try to find things to help me out because I take when I'm on the treadmill and my knee. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and and also I just went to my orthopedic. I got spurs in my left shoulder. I got tear in my right shoulder. I'm falling apart, but I still try to I'm taking a break right now because I need my body's time to heal. But I'll go back soon enough when I feel a little better because I'm not that young. I'm not spring chicken anymore. But yeah, it's just that community of you women come together, support each other. I think sometimes women can be a little catty, but it's good to find that bond. We have this commonality for this sport. Here is my man CS. Exactly. Paige has a BF. So pretty as she is, she has that respect. That's good. She has a boyfriend. But like I said, we're not gonna hold her up. And I enjoy having this conversation with you ladies.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you took the time. And like I said again, this is a sport which it's about progress as an athlete. Now, The factor is about the femininity part. Yes, that is a important factor, but it shouldn't be the be all factor of it. It should be about you as an athlete. It shouldn't be a double standard. If a guy can grow and develop it, so should the women should be able to grow and develop it. Should be able to process and to see themselves get to that next level. And you can't pigeonhole somebody, okay? You do this division, yeah, we get, and you do that division, yeah. But then you see yourself growing, developing. You should say, you know what, I can't stay here. Some women will fight that urge, like they say, you know what, I'm going to stay here. But then you're not placing well. You're struggling. You have to move next step. But I understand that you're afraid because the fact is, especially in bodybuilding, not enough opportunities, not recognition. But the fact is, you have a choice. You either move up or move out. That's the truth of it. My man CS, he just dropped me something. I'm in Wilmington. They have a show every now and then. UNCW, but it's the thin scene. I imagine it's better than the Triangle in Charlotte. Probably, but it's all depending on. So anyway, like I said, I do appreciate your time. I'd like to thank you again. I hope the best for you and all you're doing. I appreciate your family coming through, Landon. But boy, you're gonna get a top of this, sir.
It's cool having your kids watching, because you show up to their stuff and you support them. So to have them proud and to support you, like during my first show, after I got back off stage, the first text message I had was from Landon, and he said, "I'm so proud of you." And I mean, to have your teenage son text you something like that, I mean, yeah.
I mean, like I said again, I love my mother. She was a great woman, and I love her. I miss her every other day. And as boys, our mothers are our first true love. There are, like I said, a mother's a boy's best friend, and it's good. He has that. Like I said again, women come and go, but when you have a mother and she's gone, there's no one way to replace it. Sometimes a woman can feel a little place in there, but truly can never replace what a mother brings you. It's good that your boys, both the ones that you have through you and the one you have with Chad, that is good. You have that support. And like I said again, hey, as long as you feed them, they're yours.
Right.
My man CS, a few more things from CS. Good interview. A lot good ground was covered. Yeah, thank you, CS. And also this is from Yes Sir CS. That's from Chad. Your man's still in there. He's still popping. You're a good man. You're a good man, Chad. You're a good man. You're a good man. Women will cut the throat for a good man like you.
Yes.
Yeah. And
he's my biggest
cheerleader. Yeah. You may have interviewed a future Miss Olympia, Mr. Alderage. Possibly. Instead again, the Olympia has moved back to Orlando. They do have the amateur show because last year they just got women's bodybuilding. I just interviewed a lady by the name of Lotta. She competed at women's bodybuilding. She got her pro card. That's a show you can hold out for. You can, now that they got women's bodybuilding Olympia. I interviewed two ladies. One lady, her name is Marilyn Yee. She earned a pro card. We call her name is Tiny Tank. She earned a pro card at the Olympia, and so did Lotta. That could be great because say you try to, because the Olympics in November now this year, because it used to be December. Now they pushed it back November. I think it's like
because Olympia is before Nationals this year, which
so
typically flip flopped.
Yeah, so that because like I said, hey, South Carolina is a lot closer to Florida than Texas, and that'd be a good show to think about it. And then if you don't ditch it there, you got National still.
Yeah.
So, hey, you get missing here, you go there. It's whichever you want to
think.
You talk to Mo, you talk to Trey. Y'all put it up, throw it in the sky and get it and say pray on it. Get it all together. We got one more. My man. Chad. I'm here for it, George. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're a good man, Chad. You're a good man. I tell you, Chad, there's some women out there. They'll slit your woman's throat and throw it down a well for a good man like you. And one more for CS before we go out. I'm not giving the heavyweight wins Olympia. A good midweight was a shot. We have seen shows where lightweights can win an overall show through That's less common. Yeah, it's mostly sometimes middleweights and heavyweights that usually win. And you as a middleweight, you might do good. Like I said, there is still the. I know you say you know there's still some shows that some middleweights do pretty good, but like I said, that's an option that you have. All you gotta do is win in your class, and especially at the Olympia, and boom, you got your card. Yeah. So, folks, this was a great conversation. I love talking to somebody from who's like next door to me. This is about this is as good as I can get. I've talked to women across the ocean, across the country, but just close to home. Great feeling for a person like me, and it's just proud that we're both Carolinians, North and South. We're both Carolinians, and it's just proud to talk to a fellow Carolinian like her. I hope and wish you all the best. Great, and I gotta say, I appreciate all people coming through here. My man Chad, good man Chad. Her boy London, London, like I said, good boy. You get a good job. Support your mother. Stand by your mother, son, because you only have one. Also, man, CS Racing coming through. Racing Report. My man Lawrence Perkins. My man Execute 23, Brian Williams. Also, Balls Deep, for coming through. I'd like to thank you all for coming through and to sharing your stories and listening to this lovely Tara story with us. We wish you all the best in this coming season. Maybe this will be the year where she becomes IFBB Pro. And I said again, if you are someone out there who is genuinely want to see an athlete go to the next level, or next step in their career, be genuine interest. Reach out to them. Tell them what they need to get to the next level. Show support. Don't be that guy. Unless you get a knock on the door from Chad. Mm-hmm. Well, man, I'd like to thank you again. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I appreciate you coming through and share your story. Best of luck to you in this upcoming season. Best of luck to the kids. Tell Landon don't drive too fast. And, I know, when you get behind the car, you go, woo. Mm-hmm. Hey, slow down, boy. Slow down. We got one more here from man Brian Perkins says, great interview. Thanks, Miss Hart. Thanks, George, all the way to your page. Also, my man CS says, looking forward to see you future interviews. I'll text you YouTube to keep the touch through some names of you. Okay, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Any help I can get, I appreciate it. But folks, again, we'd like to thank the lovely Miss Jamie Hart for coming through and sharing her story. We wish her best of luck in this upcoming season. Maybe this will be the year she'll be turning IFBB Pro. As you know, hey, it's a tough sport. But like I said again, if you're someone genuinely interested in helping Jamie, be sincere in your interest. Don't be that guy. Stop it. Get some help. Anyway, this is me all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I'm out. Have a great rest of your week, and goodbye February and hurdle March.